The final news video of the day, what has been an unexpectedly busy day, and we start with some big news. That is that the premium live event set for January the 18th, ahead of the Royal Rumble in India next year, has been postponed. It is not canceled, it is postponed. That it will happen later on. But the company that was running the show in conjunction with WWE, I believe it is their television producer or television carrier in India, is merging with another company, and it has been said that once the merger is done, then the show will go on. But the television company Sony 6 wanted to make sure that the merger was out of the way before the WWE held the show. But as it was reported before deadline, the match with Sangha, Veer Mahan, and the Creed brothers, going against the Creed brothers, was postponed due to WWE wanting to make sure that, I believe it was Veer who was injured, would be 100% for the show in January. So you kind of wonder what's gonna happen with that rivalry between the Creed brothers, Sangha and Veer, on NXT. But again, it is expected that the merger will be completed in April. The only question is if WWE would be willing to make a trip over to India in April for a premium live event, knowing that early April is when WrestleMania is. So you have to wonder if WWE would want to do that, or if they want to just save it for later on. Maybe a similar place on the calendar to when they did Clash at the Castle next year could be when they go to India, because not only would Veer Mahan and Sangha be well received there, you would assume, but Drew McIntyre has been petitioning for a premium live event to be held in India very recently, and it is pretty obvious that WWE will be doing a premium live event in India. It's just a matter of when in 2023. It's not a matter of if they will be doing a premium live event in India. It's just a matter of rescheduling the premium live event that is already on the card. Because it wasn't WWE that postponed it, it was, again, their television carrier that postponed it. So WWE, had no say in the matter. It was, again, their television carrier that did so. But you want to talk about mixed messages, you want to talk about stuff that we have no say in. Miro has been an interesting character in AEW, and he has not been featured much on AEW programming in 2022. Hopefully, like I mentioned the last time, we will see Miro in 2023 on AEW programming, but the fact of the matter is, that is a question for Miro and Tony Khan to address. And with all this nonsense and all this back and forth going around, I think it would be better for Miro to sit down with Tony and Tony to sit down with Miro and discuss what both parties want as far as where their heads are at within the ranks of bringing him back and putting him on television and what he wants to do. Because the fact of the matter is, we're getting so many mixed messages, it would make even a top-line code cracker for Morse code confused based on the amount of mixed messages we've been getting. Because Miro, it was said that Miro has not gotten much creative, but then it was said that Miro got creative but turned it down, and then it said, and now that Miro's wife, CJ Perry, the former Lana, has went on record saying that basically everyone returns to WWE eventually, which it doesn't bode well for Miro if that's if his wife is saying that Miro may want to return to WWE where he was Rusev and one of the more popular stars in WWE, also an unfortunate person that should have won a WWE championship and been a little bit more of a featured talent than he was. There was a lot of problems with Miro's last run, but you got to wonder if Miro's next run, if he does have another run in WWE, would be a little different under the new regime. You know, in my opinion, it's like I said, I think the best way to handle this would be to have a sit down with Miro and Tony Khan to talk about what they want and how to get Miro back on television. Because as Dave Meltzer said, if Miro doesn't want to be in AEW and his wife is making comments like that, then maybe, just maybe, Tony Khan could take the opinion of why bother investing in him if he doesn't want to be here. Right now, Miro's contract is set to expire in 2026, we do believe. It could be wrong, it could be something more, it could be something less. But the fact of the matter is, we've seen AEW contracts be gotten out of before, wink wink, William Regal. So it is possible that AEW could let Miro go if they feel like it's better off. But my question is that something that they'd actually be willing to do? Because I feel like letting Miro go would do more harm than good. Because I still do believe that Miro could be an asset for AEW. They just got to figure out the best way to get him back on television. And with Ring of Honor separating from AEW, I think getting more AEW talent on television should be easier. But there was also a report that some WWE stars are reluctant to lose within the ranks of AEW. Of course, not limited to the exception being Bryan Danielson, who sometimes loses a little bit too often. But you wonder who the talent could be, and you wonder if that is why some WWE stars are not featured in more of a prominent position within the ranks of AEW if they are unwilling to lose to AEW stars. But you got to figure that would not help matters, in my opinion. But also, that's not it, and that's not all for the news. As we end on interesting news, the interesting news is that Kurt Angle actually talked about this on his podcast recently, and what he talked about was the idea that he wasn't supposed to lose the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 19 to Brock Lesnar, but plans were changed when he broke his neck. He won the title in late 2003 from the Big Show, and went into the championship match. Went into WrestleMania as the champion, and because he had a broken neck and had to go away for surgery, he lost to Brock. But he was supposed to, according to Kurt, he was supposed to keep the belt for most of 2003 and be a year-long champion, probably winning it from when he won the title against the Big Show in 2003 to then drop the title to Brock at that same event. Let's take a look, because I know offhand he dropped the title to Brock in September 2003 in the Iron Man match on SmackDown. Offhand, though, I don't remember when he beat. Yes, he actually won the title in July 2003, so it is entirely possible that Kurt Angle. I'm sorry. No. I apologize. He won the title in December 2002, so I don't know if that means that he would have won the title back. I dropped the title to Brock in September, or maybe they would have adjusted when when the Iron Man match was. You don't know. But the fact of the matter is, even if Kurt was supposed to hold the title for the full 2003 and beat Brock at WrestleMania 19, what happened was just as good, maybe even better than the initial plan, because otherwise we may not have gotten that historic 60-minute Iron Man match in September 2003 like we did. But what would you have preferred? Would you have preferred Brock getting the belt at WrestleMania, or would you have preferred Kurt getting the belt or keeping the title and, I'm assuming eventually dropping it to Brock, but not dropping it to Brock when he did, keeping it for a lengthier run, because that was something that we were seeing on Raw, but not necessarily on SmackDown in this time, as Triple H was having his reign of terror, or in the mix of his reign of terror on Raw. So having another lengthy championship run on the opposite show, I mean, it made at least it gave SmackDown a different identity, but still, it makes you wonder what could have been. But either way, these have been my thoughts on wrestling, and I will see you in the next one. But before I go, if I do not see you beforehand, I would like to wish each and anybody that is celebrating it a very Merry Christmas and hope to see you all after the holiday and as we look forward to a full year of content here on YouTube. But until next time, I will see you again